Greetings and welcome. This is the third chapter of my analysis of the incident at Oberlin High School, located in St. Andrew, Jamaica. As mentioned in chapter 1, it is my personal opinion that this was an episode of mass hysteria, also known as conversion disorder. But as it happens in real life, the truth is found somewhere in between, and this leads to my final theory, which I call the pragmatic approach. Not unfrequently, there is an undertone to this kind of exaggerated and uncontrolled reaction, like the one we saw at Oberlin High School. Situations like these often indicate some degree of psychological stress, emotional tension, and anxiety in the affected individuals. Could events like these be a desperate, loud, dramatic, and unconscious cry for help? Yes, it could be. What could have caused such degree of mental distress in a group of otherwise physically healthy school children?
Tomorrow we are nobody not doing anything about it. Tomorrow the parents are going to school. This is not right. Come for another one. Come. Parents, guardians, everybody who have children attending Ginger Early School. Oh. If follow them fan on the come up in us. If bitch follow them fan on the come up in us. That's it. That's why you think about I wake them up in our grassroots. That's what I place in Focus. Yes, man. Send them back, man. Send them back where they come from, man. They not come here. God make your son come contact people. Send them back. I said no to Mali one. I said no. Now okay, Mali one come in. That one come in. Send him back.
Social insecurity. Could this be both a sign and the result of the progressive and constant deterioration of the social fabric of the Jamaican society? Yes, and yes. This deterioration is evidenced by the everyday indiscipline of drivers in Jamaican roads, which weekly leads to lives lost.
The condition was wet road condition. We understand that he may have overtaken another vehicle, lost control of the vehicle, verged into the path of the highways, causing the collision. 2 persons are now confirmed dead. That is the driver of the highways, as also a female passenger that was traveling in the highways.
The police say the Honda Accord, which was involved in last night's deadly crash along Marcus Garvey Drive near Industrial Terrace, Kingston, was being driven by a 16-year-old boy. The driver, Demar Patterson, was among 4 persons who died in the crash.
When we got here, we saw the vehicle on the sidewalk between the light pole and the fence, extensively damaged. 3 persons were inside. futile.
It's still not clear what led to the crash. However, Commanding Officer for the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Senior Superintendent...
The river, river beside. This is what happened.
Spotted on the scene of the crash along the Landover Main Road in St. Anne is a sign that welcoming the new year went horribly wrong for some road users. Reports are that this grey Toyota Axio motor car and a Toyota Coaster were traveling along the main road sometime after midnight when they collided. The driver of the Axio was reportedly attempting to overtake several vehicles when the crash happened. 3 persons who were traveling in the units died. They are 46-year-old Brenton Brown, who was driving the Coaster bus, as well as 28-year-old laborer Carson Whitaker, who was driving the Axio. One of the 3 passengers in the Axio also died. Up to news time, his identity was not known. The Coaster bus was transporting workers from a popular hotel on the north coast. The staff members sustained minor injuries and were all...
The long-standing crime problem and daily occurrence of violent killings of increasing brutality.
Old baby is among 4 children and their mother who were brutally murdered in Clarendon this morning. Now their bodies were found in the community of New Hope near Chapelton with multiple stab wounds and their throats slashed. An early morning massacre sending shockwaves through the community of New Road in Clarendon Tuesday morning, attracting dozens of people and police and military personnel. Just meters away from the yellow tapes is the house where the bodies of 4 children and their mother were found with their throats slashed.
The years of recurrent news of public officials' involvement in less than honest and honorable conduct.
Despite notable progress made over the years, Jamaica is still struggling with the management of corruption and good governance. The latest Corruption Perception Index, CPI, notes the establishment of the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency as an independent body and the corruption cases recently pursued by the Auditor General's Department as examples of progress. But this, it says, comes alongside significant resistance to reforms from many politicians in the country.
The many decades of gun-related wars.
Communities within the Spanish Town area are still tense this afternoon following the recent increase in murders. That gang war spilled over into the parish capital. 6 persons were shot, 2 fatally by gunmen and 1 individual by the police. The Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Central, Olivia Grange, has since condemned the incident.
But what we're experiencing is people driving into the constituency and shooting at innocent individuals and other persons, and this is now creating great attention.
Since Tuesday, a curfew has been imposed in a number of communities.
The pervasive attacks on unsuspecting females.
But no, when we come back Thursday to show that something is there. Something is there. And when me come here and I say something is wrong in the officer, you have to look right at them gaga mouth and them bury her right up there. So there's no reason whatsoever to get up and kill my cousin without a reason. And my cousin haven't done anything.
The sexual harassment and physical abuse of children.
Up first this evening, concerns this evening that the latest police statistics show that more than 50% of children reported missing since the start of the year remains unaccounted for. Children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison wants the public to play their part in the safe recovery of missing children. But as TVJ's Anthony Lugg reports, the issue has been a concern for years.
The brazen glorification in music of negative role models and illicit gains.
Chopper man a chopper. Chopper man a. Alright. Looking at me palm and glocking at the zipper. Bang on me ears dash with the iPhone. Man a twang like semi-band in America. Man a chop. Chopper. Chandelier. Dirty video. You see free man chop. Top chopper. Chopper man
Shem Jed, what flavor? Make create dog, make you chop a back. See what water dog, they not chop at all. Money green starch, I'm a never chop a grass. You see me when me pass, if you client days, get a clearance spot. Some law, come dog, do my ear to me guard. Fully ears, drum a craft, witchcraft, make you soft.
The declining quality of politicians' behavior in Parliament.
No, Mr. Robinson, you did not.
Mr.
You
Speaker.
have no authority to do that.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Robinson, I spoke to you.
Mr. Speaker.
And you agreed with me.
I didn't agree with anything.
That you came late.
I did not agree with anything.
Mr. Robinson,
I sent
you know what?
to the Speaker,
you know what?
copy to the clerk of the House.
If you can do that, then
I sent to the
I am not going to be here.
Speaker properly,
if you
copied to
can
the
get up
clerk
and
of the
dictate
House,
that
who
you
can
want to
acknowledge receiving my motion
speaking, Mr.
in
Robinson.
due time. It was sent to you,
Mr.
copied
Robinson,
to the clerk.
The Speaker is standing, please sit.
Well, I'm not going to sit. I'm not going to sit.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Just a moment, please. Will you please hold on your copy? Mr. Warmington.
Mr. Speaker, it really is unfortunate that...
You called a member of this House Jezebel. I'm asking that you retract.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw that word, but allow me to read the sentence after.
The statement is here, and everybody can read it.
But they can't say the member misled the House when the statement is here. Is the minister,
Mr. Warmington,
wrong?
The unabated influx of illegal drugs and guns to the country.
$4.5 billion in cocaine. It's a major drug bust which the security forces say is one of the largest in the country's crime-fighting history. As we hear in this report, the drugs were seized during an operation just off the coast of St. Thomas.
This is what $4.5 billion worth of cocaine looks like. 2,630 pounds of the illicit drug seized by the narcotics police during an operation Tuesday.
Since the beginning of 2021, the security forces have removed 170 illegal firearms from the nation's streets, the popular weapon of choice in the alarming rate of murders. The police statistics suggest 29 more weapons have been seized when compared to the corresponding period in 2020.
The apparent inability for the common man to solve common conflicts amicably without resulting in physical aggression. The troubling concern of violence and weapons in schools.
Gang activities in schools are not new, but the frequency with which students are now forming gangs is a cause for concern.
Someone said to me that it was something about the crime situation, and they were saying that, no man, your crime will be lowered now because who you're looking for are back in school. Sounds laughable, but I can tell you, the last weapon that we got was from a 17-year-old.
If to all the previous we add some well-rooted and counterproductive attitudes like the bad man mentality, the informa fide culture, and the disdain for authority, chatbot Babylon, then we can understand the continuous corrosion of the Jamaican society. Now all those paired with the progressive breakdown in family values, the increasing indifference of law-abiding citizens, the decreasing protagonism of the church in public affairs, religious leaders who pray for divine intervention to solve the maladies of the Jamaican society, when perhaps they should have been praying for the Almighty to engrace us with the wisdom to change ourselves, in particular, with the fortitude to make much needed positive changes in the society in general, and the strength to put our hearts, hands, and minds together at work ceaselessly to build a better Jamaica. But instead, the church continues blaming the family, and the family blaming the state.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed.
Parents not praising God, parents are not being surrendered, parents not surrender their life to God, parents don't want to serve God, so the children then don't even know what they are coming up against. They don't understand what is happening. Parents don't understand. Parents don't know nothing because they don't serve God. They don't want God. And when you refuse God, you refuse life.
And I wonder, is it possible that decades of the rampant social irresponsibility which permeates the society have opened ethereal hellish portals facilitating powerful evil entities to take over Jamaica? Is it possible that these malignant and otherworldly beings have, over the years, gained strength and control, feeding off all the sins and bad behavior? Is it possible that Jamaican criminals have gone so far and so deep in their wickedness as to cause God to abandon Jamaica? I really would not want to know the answers to these questions. But there is something I suspect, and it is that demons will certainly populate and feel at home in any careless society.
End of time. Who knows it's end of time, them blind. We are living in the last days. And the devil is out raging like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. So we need to reach out and touch God more.
And that's why we are trouble. Religion, salvation, Jesus Christ, not religion. That's why we're in trouble. For religion mix up when you wash your wine in the water. You dirty more. So the more you mix up in a religion, you dirty more for your God. Salvation. Yes, man. When you take out Christ, you must get devil.
Meanwhile, the dark powers will continue their progressive and relentless overtaking of a country that does not seems to love itself, both spiritually and physically. And I ask you, people of Jamaica, what are you going to do to stop it?